So DTs on the field, you want to at least save up like one scan when you move out, and between the scan and then an EMPs, you usually have enough detection. But remember, you have a fortress at your second, so you're not going to have this unlimited orbital command energy like usual. And again, whenever you have a lead, some people like to stop it. I just like to extend my lead. I think it's the safest way to keep turn a lead into a win, is just to continually expand on it. However, yeah, I remember I did something really stupid this game. Look at my command centers and my planetary fortress. For some reason, I just stopped making SCVs, just completely. So here's an attack. Go to scan, I realize I don't have any scan available. I go to EMP, I realize he's already sniped off my ghosts, so time to stim and run away. Stim is a very good tool for fleeing, especially when you have medevacs, because you'll just be able to heal them up when you get home, so the extra run speed usually gets you away pretty safely. And yeah, look at this stupidity. I should be well ahead in Harvester count, but I'm actually falling tremendously behind. I don't know why, I just forgot about Harvesters. And then here I overreact and just queue up 6 at once. So I'm ready to take my third, and I don't even have my first 2 saturated well, so this is not good. I would like to have all 3 saturated well at this point in the game. But I still think overall I've taken in more resources, even though he has the high yield going now. But yeah, if this game gets extended much longer, he's definitely going to take the lead. And there's the EMP revealing the Dark Templar. $72 or $75 over 50. Jeez. This guy's really trying to get back into it economically. And now putting up his 4th, where my 3rd is just going but not even saturated. Here's an interesting point. I kind of caught myself here. Like, I got the I had this Elnaga, so I could see that he did have a big base here, and that there was a lot of probes, and that there was no protection, at least not in the immediate vicinity. So I wanted to take it out. So I move out here to take it out, and I realized, you know what, my army is really small. I didn't pull any of my reinforcements. So what I do as I'm attacking this, I pull my reinforcements and I bring them, like, say up to here, I think is what I do. And that way, if he brings his entire army over, instead of getting slaughtered, I'll be able to actually sandwich him from behind with my leftover enemies. And since he went Colossi, that's actually going to work out pretty well. So it looks like instead he's actually going to try to just plow right in my front door. Did he just attack his own Colossus? That's hilarious. Rather than coming back and saving the space, I think I'm just going to go for a drop. Either is fine. I could also pull back and sandwich him and finish off his force. In fact, pulling back might have been the better option. And some stim. Oh, these poor new Colossus. They're short for life. And that is GG. Alright, so now we finished the match. Let's talk a little bit about this planetary fortress build. Let's talk about the obvious things. Obvious advantages. You got an earlier expansion, which means you have more mineral matches to mine from earlier. You can get your SCV count up faster, as you'll have 2 command centers to pump from instead of 1 for a much larger portion of the game. And obviously you have a fortress at your front line, which is really good. You know, if you do a typical Terran build and you have a battle go wrong in the middle, he's basically just going to push on you and win the game with like a 30 food edge. But yeah, with this build, if you lose a big battle and you fall 30 food behind and he tries to push you, you'll still be able to stay alive as long as you fight with your fortress. Which means it gives you, you know, kind of like a get out of jail free card to get back into the game again. And then the obvious disadvantage, I would say, is for mid to late game, your mule count's going to be a lot lower. So where I think it gives you a big economic edge from like early to mid game. After that, it's just the lack of mules is going to add up over time. But like I said, you get your SCV count up faster, and you can get 4 Vespines quicker if that's what your build requires. So early to mid game, it's actually an advantage. Now I want to talk a little bit about the meta game. Just in that opponents don't face this, it's kind of like almost turning them into a noob again, where they don't know how to react to it. First of all your timings are going to be completely different. Everything they're used to from Terran, from a standard Terran build, like you know this, even if you are a Terran player, just facing other players, you just over time you get a feel for when things are coming. It's like without even scouting, I can almost tell you when like mutalisks are going to come into my base to harass. You get that feel because it's a standard build and you face it so often. Well, all those feels won't apply to your build anymore. So all those feels they have for like a standard Terran build, it's just all the time is going to be completely different. And often you'll see Zerg like, setting up spine crawlers, putting 2 queens on the ramp here to block that, and you get roaches for this, and they're doing all this stuff to block like Hellion harass, or well, I guess Reapers back in the day, but not anymore, or like whatever sort of cheese you might put on them. Not cheese, but any sort of opening tactics you might put on them. And he spends all his resources on these things rather than drones or larvae, and it's not coming because you're not doing that build. I think a perfect example of this is in like on the forum, the Reddit forum for that video I had up where I went for 15cc, and on the comments here within my channel I get it all the time, is just people say, okay, your build order is stupid because I can just rush it with blank. And it doesn't even really matter how they end that sentence. Rushing it is actually seals the victory for myself. The downside to this build is if someone says, well, I can see that you went, 2 refineries and engineering bay and another command center and a planetary fortress. This guy's not going to be able to push out for 10 minutes, so I'm just going to spend, just chrono boost probes nonstop and just keep expanding. I'm going to use all my larvae for drones. That's the sort of response that can give me headaches. But, go through the Reddit forum, go through my comments here. No one says your build sucks for that reason. They say it sucks because I'm just going to rush you with whatever. And you'll find that once you get good at this, you can hold off basically every kind of rush. And then after the rush is done, they're like, oh shoot, my pro count's low. I haven't expanded yet. And I'm against a guy with like 2 full bases and producing out his ass, and I'm dead. And that's basically the way it goes. So it's definitely different. It's definitely going to cut back on your mule count, and it will probably hurt you beyond the mid game economically. But early on, I think there's a lot of metagame edges to it, and a lot of just early economic edge to it as well. And then there's obvious tactical advantages to having a fortress at your front line rather than a orbital command as well. Just gives you somewhere to fall back to, something that can handle, swing around counterattacks from Zerglings and whatnot. Yeah, I think that's more or less everything. So what I think I'll do is I'll put in the description just some links to some VODs I already have up where I face things like like Bailing Bust or 4 Warp Gate Rush or Void Wave Rush or 6 Pool, and I can show you how those things fare versus this Fast Expand. I think I'll give you a good idea of how this works. Now when I say you can hold off any, like most sorts of rushes, well I'd say almost any sort of rush, it also is very fragile. So if you make small mistakes, instead of that resulting in small losses, small mistakes can actually result in losing the entire game. Like this match, like just getting my 2nd and 3rd barracks down so late, like I had like 400 minerals stored up instead of having the barracks already down. That could cost me. I mean, that rush that came in with the Blink Stalkers, a couple more units, that could have been like a lot of trouble for me. Whereas if I executed it perfectly, I think that would have absolutely gotten obliterated. I wouldn't even have had to have pulled SCVs. So you can see how small mistakes can compound into like gigantic losses, because this is a very fragile opening. However, if executed correctly, quite safe. So that is my Ketroc Fast Expand build. I'll put the build order in the description as well if you're interested in that. Again, I'm not claiming it's like, this is superior to other build orders, I'll kill Hydra with this or something. Like this, it's just a build order that works for me and it could work for you. Yeah, with that, I'll call that the end of this video. Alright, for today's thumbs up fact of the game, I thought I would share an epic game with you. This is actually the match that got me my 250th win as a Terran. So Ghost Icon coming here, and appropriately so. It could be one of the most epic games I've ever played. It was so much further beyond just typical micro and macro. I found it like transcended the game of Starcraft and became a battle of wills, and only the one with the strongest heart could survive. So let's get right into the match. I am Ketroc, spawning as the red Terran in the bottom left position and in the top right. And GG! Thank you, everyone. 250th win. I can't imagine a more deserved Ghost Icon. Alright, thanks. Oh, one other thing. I found a new way to encode my videos, so they're about 1/10 the size, which is awesome for me. It means it's not such a disastrous process for me just to get videos up on YouTube. But let me know if you notice any difference in the quality here, because this will be the first video done with this different encoding method. So if it's poor in either audio or video, just let me know. Right, thanks and goodbye.